Year 3 back at Hillcrest, I pointed it out a second ago, looks like the energy level has really changed. The guys seem to be a lot more buying into the system.
Well, we're trying to. It's taken a long time, and I think as the majority of these guys that are out here have been with us all 3 years. The senior class is a very small class. We only got about 8 kids, and so most of these guys have been with us the whole time.
And, you know, those guys got a little taste of winning last year, the playoff win. And you know, how much more has that motivated them in the offseason to come to the weight room and get ready?
You know, the offseason was not what I want it to be. We're still not there yet as far as what I expect our offseasons to be, but it's better. It gets better every year, a little bit better. We're still not where I want it to be, but it's getting better.
Of course, obviously, the focus for everybody is on Doriel. Junior season, and I don't think you have to say everybody knows what his skill set is, but you know, the big question is going to be who's throwing him the ball.
Right. That's obviously, I mean, last year we had a good guy who could really make things happen back there, not just with his arm, but with his legs as well. And so this year it may be a little different, maybe a little different look. Our delivery system's not quite as good as it was last year, but I think as the season progresses, our guys will get better as the season gets along.
So does that mean kind of some different looks in the offense and try to get people balls different ways?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a lot of the same, but we may have to do a few things different just to try to make it a little bit easier. I don't know if the deep ball will be as big a part of our game as it was last year.
Who's the quarterback?
It looks like Matt Futrell will be our starting quarterback.
It's got to be a lot of pressure on a guy.
Well, we try to keep the pressure off as much as possible. You know, I mean, we just we want him to keep progressing, keep practicing, keep working hard, and he's doing that. And I don't want to put the game in his hands, you know. He just has to kind of manage the game for us.
And with the skill position players that you have, I mean, it's really got to be a lot of fun because of all the options and all the weapons that you have. I mean, you know, you'd like to have more beef up front in the line, of course, but it gives you kind of a lot of flexibility with offense.
Yeah, the strength of our team is clearly in the skill positions, but you know, that O-line is such a big, you know, part of making that offense go, and we're just going to have to get better up front. And we're going to have to be, you know, as coaches, we're going to have to find ways to get the balls, you know, in the hands of our kids that can make plays.
Doriel used to be so quiet, and now I see him going around tapping guys on the head and telling them to run, and you know, his leadership has really improved a lot.
Yeah, you know, he was a freshman. He came in like anybody else. You know, freshman, sophomore, you kind of got to pay your dues, and he's kind of stepping up in that leadership role this year. I think it's just a natural progression of him maturing.
What do you think about the Ozark Conference? Not that you play too many of the Springfield.
Yeah, we don't play very many Springfield schools, but we do play. You know, we play a very tough schedule. You know, our first Ozark Conference opponent is Lebanon. They've got, I think, almost 28 seniors back. And we play Joplin and Camdenton and Waynesville and Glendale. And West Plains is now in our conference. We play a pretty good portion of the Ozark Conference teams, and every week for us, it's an uphill climb to beat those teams.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about Darnell.
Okay.
What role do you think he'll play this year?
You know, Darnell's doing really well. He's doing really well. I don't know. I think he's going to see some Friday night time. I don't think he's going to start. I think he'll see some action. He's still maturing and getting better. But right now, I would say he's more a part-time Friday night player and a full-time Monday night player.
Tell me about some guys that have shown a lot of promise so far in practice that can be good role players for you this year.
I think, you know, one of the most important players that we have, and that's Jordan Gardner. He's a senior O-line, D-line player. I fully expect him to be one of our team captains. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. He's been here for 3 years. He's just done an outstanding job, you know, on the field, off the field. He's the kind of football player you wish you had 50 of, you know.